All right, we're back again with another episode of Shoot the J. We're on episode 21, I believe, now. Oh, you're doing a skyhook?
Skyhook then. Yeah, let's skyhook.
Welcome, everybody who's watching. We always start off with our first comment, as always. What are you drinking? Tyrone, I'm going to let you start off.
H2O, because I got a gig later on.
Oh, you can't be drunk on a gig.
Can't be. I could be. I might not get paid.
Nah?
I just whipped up a real quick screwdriver right there. You understand?
That's your drink du jour now, huh?
That's the only thing I can grab right quick. Struggling around there, man.
I've
Struggling.
been watching Married at First Sight, and they got a chick on it that's always taking shots every 5 minutes. So I said, let me get a little shot and on a little show. I've been watching Married at First Sight. You know the chick who's married to the airline pilot?
Yeah, that's a mighty big shot there, real dog, when you do the complete the show.
Or you gonna do what she does when she takes those shots?
Oh, I don't sleep on no strange man's sofa. I can take that. That's what she does. She said, I'm just crashing at my guy friend's house. He should understand. And meanwhile, the chick ain't come home in 4 days, Tyrone.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
She had a wedding she was going to do.
Okay, wedding don't last no 4 days, bro.
Yes, sir. All right, what's the topic of the day there, Dave?
Guys, our first topic, we start off with Calressa Shields. She just won the welterweight title of the world after winning the middleweight title of the world. She's the first female boxer to be a two-time a belt holder. Give us your impressions on the fight if you saw it, and what's really next for Calressa Shields?
Well, I saw the fight. I supported her and saw all the fights on the undercard. The fight right before the co-main event was two of the biggest chicks I ever seen in my life fighting. There's one chick, she was in a car accident before, right? Was paralyzed and came back, and that's how she got into boxing. She just walked into one of the gyms in the Bronx. I think it was Crunk Gym or whatever.
Jeez.
No, and that's how she started working out. And the other chick she fought is actually from Waycross, Georgia, by way of New York or something like that. She was big, but she was just getting eaten up. Now, Calressa Shields, the best part of the fight was afterwards when she was being interviewed. And I think there's nobody to really push Calressa Shields. There's nobody for her to really know if she's the best. And she calls herself the GOAT, the greatest woman of all time. But there's nobody for her to fight. They're talking about her next fight, asking her if she can go down to 147 pounds to fight Katie Taylor. She's like, I've already gone down to fight this fight. You want me to go down even more? What she actually said was, I don't want to lose my booty. You know, you got to be some serious money on it for me to lose my booty, because that's what's going to go next if I try to get to 147. You know,
You don't want that to happen.
No, they're trying to find someone for her to fight. And that's not great for her development, because she should have knocked this girl out.
Mm-hmm.
Marie, Eva, whatever name.
Yeah, Marie.
She should have knocked her out. Yeah, should have knocked her out. And she peppered her, but Calressa Shields only has 2 knockouts. And there's points where she's disciplined. There's a point where she's just, if she would have thrown the 1-2 down the pipe, she had that chick out of there. But she liked to throw these little overhand punches. And she had a counter left that was stinging the chick, but she couldn't do anything with her. And that's why she needs some competition. Hannah Gabriel knocked her down and woke her up. But Hannah Gabriel is not even a real weight class. You know what I'm saying? She wore Hannah Gabriel down. Christina Hamner, she didn't have nothing for her. She exposed Christina Hamner. But she needs somebody. I hate to say it, she need to make that Layla Ali fight happen. Wow. That's the only way she can prove that she's the greatest of all time. That's all I can say.
I mean, I can't add anything to what Ty is saying other than I think he made some great points. She needs someone to push her. And now she's already jumped into another weight division to try to fight oncoming talent. And there's really nobody. So this begs the question, do we need more fight development for women? Because as we can clearly see, there's a draw. It brings in the dollars. And you know, once an event brings in dollars, then advertisers are saying we can advertise and get our, merchandise some notoriety. So now that we have that, do we need more training gyms and more professionals on the women's side to come on the scene, almost like MMA?
I have a take on what Tyrone said about, her considering herself the best. I mean, she is the best, okay? But is she the best that she can possibly be? Because of the dearth of competition, though, as you said, because nobody's pushing her. Like I saw her in a sparring match with Cyborg, Chris Cyborg. And Cyborg is a specimen so far as women are concerned. And she was just so much of a better boxer than Cyborg that it was a shame. And you could see that Cyborg had skills and she was very strong, but she was just getting exploited because Claressa's boxing was better. But I saw an interview with her and Andre Ward. And Andre Ward was trying to explain to her, like, don't go in the gym and work on the things that you're already great at. Go in and work on your weaknesses. And she didn't really want to hear that. You could see in her expression she didn't want to hear it. And Tyrone, I'm glad you bought the fight because when we were in Vegas the first time, we ran into Calressa Shields, and I'll throw the picture up. And we were all excited. We said, hey, we saw your last fight. And she told us, she said, where were y'all? I didn't see y'all in the audience. And when we said, oh, yeah, we saw your fight, we saw it on TV. And she meant like to really support. Like, did you fly in like y'all flying in to see this Andre Ward Kovalev fight? Is what she meant. So I'm glad, Tyrone, you bought the fight to support her. There's one thing to give lip service that we did go out and support her, by clicking that money. But is there anybody that could push her? Layla would be that person to push her, but Layla's probably the same age as I am. Layla in her 40s.
She's 42.
Oh,
she's
42. Yeah, she's a little bit younger than I am. So at the end of the day, yeah, she could push you, but at the same time, if she pushes you and gives you a good fight, that's a loss for you because she's 20 years past when she was actually fighting, So
well, what's interesting, Dave. Layla in an interview said it's going to be some serious money. Layla want the marketing side of it too. She said, let's make a show out of it because she said, I got things going on. She's like, I can't stop the things I'm doing for like $300,000. She's like, it's got to be at least $1 million, $2 million. And she's absolutely right. She got her own thing going on. She's going to have to stop to retrain. And at 42 years old, she knows it's a different thing, but she knows there's some money to be made off it too. So it's not just about you calling me out. I'm 42 years old.
Right.
I got everything to lose at this point,
Well, Don said it best. He said there's a market for it. And with those two names of Ali and Calressa Shields, that it'll generate big dollars. I mean, Calressa Shields was, besides Ali and Christy Martin, she was the first one to have another titleist as an undercard, a male titleist with the Durrells as an undercard on her fight, and she was the main headliner. So the money is there. It looks like she's going to switch to MMA. She's preparing to fight one of the women in MMA, but the money's not really there. She's a fighter, and she wants to fight. I understand that, and she wants to fight competition. But like you said, there's nobody there really to push her, Tyrone, to the greatest heights. A real, true rival there for her to be the best version of Calressa Shields that she could be. And shout out to Calressa Shields also. She really entertained us while we were there and took pictures with us. We recognized her. She was really gracious and very, very nice when we met her in Las Vegas. And like I said, I'll throw the shots on the screen. We always support boxing. We all support whoever the up-and-coming people are and the legends as well. So
look, she did something major for female boxing. All of the undercard was all female boxing. And it was 4 bouts. And she did it in Flint, Michigan,
Right.
And she produced it, put it together, getting people paid. And she's just really being a trailblazer. And they've asked her to do everything, She can't even just concentrate on boxing. She's just, everything is on trying to do more for other people. So I got to take my hat off to her. She could be trying to demand $600,000, $700,000 for herself and let the other people just get nothing. And every one of those female boxers thanked Calressa Shields, thanked her.
And I agree with that too. She's also pushing to go from 2-minute rounds to 3-minute rounds. And to go from 10 rounds to 12 rounds, just like the men. As she says, in 2 minutes, I really can't do my work to break somebody down. And by the time you get somebody into position you want them in, the round is over and the corner's made adjustments.
That's true.
So she wants to push forward with that as well.
Well, that begs to the heightened level of conditioning she's yearning for. So, I mean, anybody who wants to jump into the ring with that kind of standard, 3 minutes is no joke for a male contender in the boxing ring. So imagine 3 minutes for a woman to be in that. I'm not saying women are weaker by far. I'm just saying that it's a challenge for all boxers, 3 minutes in the ring, period.
Yeah, Don, I mean, that's really the difference between amateur and the pros. When you extend those rounds, and it's like she's saying, we're professional fighters. We're not amateur fighters. Give us the same amount of time as the men, as the pros. Give us 10 rounds. Give us 3 minute rounds,
There you go.
So our next topic, what is wrong with the New Orleans Pelicans? We have first-time All-Star Brandon Ingram, also most improved player. We have phenom Zion Williamson. We have Lonzo Ball Hart. We have Eric Bledsoe. We have a big guy with Steven Adams. We have a proven seasoned coach with Stan Van Gundy. But the Pelicans have lost 4 of the last 5. What is y'all opinion on what's wrong with the New Orleans Pelicans?
Wait, Don, I'll let you go first.
I see defensive lapses, right?
Don, it sounds like the New Orleans Hornets over there with little bees and stuff that you got going on.
Got a lot of buzzing coming from that.
A lot of buzzing going on.
I don't know why it is buzzing. Maybe I should close out some of these other programs I don't know nothing about that's popping up. You know what I mean? Somehow we always have Norton trying to do a life lock at the wrong time.
Ladies and gentlemen on Facebook and on YouTube, I'm going to put up a discount. Let's see if we can get the pastor to come together here. For the days of Don's computer. Now, people, I want you to reach out into your pockets deep and give a donation for a new computer for Don Jackson over there. Because it doesn't just happen on a Zoom call. It happens on Bible study too. We hit the same button. Yeah, the same person. The same person. New computer. I'm going to put the PayPal link. Please donate to brother new computer.
Okay, now that we've done that soliloquy for a computer that's not mine, and that little tune and that little pastoral chant, back to business at hand. It's a defensive identity and mindset. I think about certain teams where they wanted to give you one shot and then they're ready to turn around and then transition, run the ball. Lakers was similar to that. I think of UNLV when they had a swarming defense where they'd pick you up kind of 3/4 court and then try to force turnovers and then run the length of the floor. Pelicans need a defensive identity. I think they're too quick to switch and get lost in screens, which means that a lot of people are not talking and then they're not coming forward with a defensive philosophy, because if I'm going to continue to get picked, then the next man up should either step up and address the shooter, or I'm going to slide and fight over the pick, and then my man is going to take and stay home with his man. So it has to be a defensive philosophy there. Then you have to also know when to close out games. Pelicans have been up in many cases by 10 or more points deep into the fourth quarter, and there's no adjustments made about what needs to be done. And I think that's where Van Gundy is going to be tested in his ability to have come up with a strategy, a late strategy, because they figure, okay, things have been working, but basketball is a very streaky game. So when you look at somebody making their surge to come back, what are you going to do to stop the surge? Not just to play the game or finish the game. You got to think about, okay, now the team is going to try and make a run for it. So what are we doing as a team to stop this run as it develops? So that's where, they're youthful, and that's where the coaching has to come in.
I actually agree with Don, and just to elaborate his points a little bit more, I think Stan Van Gundy was brought in there for his defensive prowess, but when he got there, he had to figure out how he's going to run this team offensively, and so you can see that he has Zion Williamson running the point now, where really they just had Zion Williams before. Gentry had him as like a floater. You get whatever you can get from just run up and down the court, grab rebounds, make your stuff off that, which was very bad for him. Now Van Gundy is like, okay, I'm gonna work on the defense. And to Don's point, when you see a coach doing these little quick matchup type of defense and stuff, that's really a Band-Aid defense. It's not an identity. It's like, okay, we want to try to get some turnovers. He's probably hasn't had a chance to really work with the defense like he wants. And plus, Stan is a yelling type of person too. These newfangled cats, they don't take that yelling too easy. Now, to Don's point of also about losing games, the team that he inherited was everybody that came from the Lakers for Anthony Davis, who indeed didn't know how to close out games. It was the same story with Lonzo Ball, Ingram, Kuzma, all of them. They would be playing great, but they would lose the game at the end. They didn't know how to win. And you see LeBron traded all of them to get Anthony Davis, and the Lakers won. Essentially, you got the Lakers of the South because that whole group was there. And until they learn how to put their foot on some people's neck defensively to stop them, then these runs are going to happen. And what it's going to do is put a lot of pressure on the coach to give more offense. When we know that's not what Stan Van Gundy really wants to do. He wants to teach them defense. But you didn't have a real training camp for this season.
True.
You got a shortened season. You just hope that they can pick up some defensive concepts, and hopefully next year will be the real year for them. So that's my take on it.
Go ahead, Don.
Something came up to my mind real quick while Ty was talking. Oh, as you're trying to find a way to close our games, there's something that all three of us do when we on the court together, and we go to the hot hand. And the Pelicans have to go to the hot hand at that time. If it's Brandon Ingram, give him the ball. Let him close them out and exploit the mismatch. What happens in basketball is, people start spreading the ball out and everybody gets a turn to score. So then everybody feels like they have a chance to win. But teams who figure this out understand that we're going to go with the most sure shot, the most sure mismatch, and that's either Zion or Brandon Ingram. And you've got to work them at that end of the game and make sure they're fresh to exploit that mismatch.
That's a good point. Something you said earlier, Don, is something Tyrone and I talked about earlier about switching, okay? And it goes back to something Tyrone said about having a defensive identity, not a Band-Aid approach. We're going to do this as a stopgap measure. No. Or we're going to be a pressing team where we're going to press teams for 48 minutes. Or we're going to be a team that just plays a zone. I mean, what are we going to do? Are we going to get after it defensively? And to be real with you, that's the difference between teams winning and losing in those tight games. The ones that know that they can apply that defensive pressure and come out at the end. Are we going to switch to pick and roll, which seems to be the new thing in the NBA now? Everybody switches it. Nobody fights over the screen. And there's a case to be made, in my humble opinion, that you don't switch to pick and roll. Because if you willingly go into the pick and roll, I could get, as a person playing the pick and roll, I can get whatever matchup I want. And you see LeBron do it every night. LeBron will start dribbling up the court, and then he will look and see who he wants to pick on. And he'll point over at the person, say, bring him over here. Bring him over here. He'll get that big out on space and either drive on him or shoot the three. Fight across the pick and roll. And teams now are hesitant to fight through the pick and roll. I don't know if it's people are saying that guys can shoot threes better.
It's a touchy fouls that's called too when you fight through it, because basketball is less physical as it once was. Now it's physical in the paint when they don't call, but if you look play, they call the most touchy stuff when people try to fight over the pick, and I think that's what stops them.
That's part of it, D. But guess what? If I got good teammates like you guys that tell me the pick is right, I don't have to get a foul because I can jump. I can anticipate and jump it.
To the ball.
I don't have to ramrod and smash the guy. I could jump it. And what that does, Don, is when I jump forward, that forces the man to go backwards. He's got to step back a little bit and dribble back when I jump forward into his chest. But to me, it's like guys are not willing to put that investment on defense to switch. It's the Instagram age. Everybody's afraid of getting embarrassed. I don't want to get crossed over. I don't want to get slammed on. Well, you're in the wrong business, partner, if you don't want to get dunked on if you're in the NBA, So
there's a lot of people in the NBA, members of CSAC and the Actors Guild right now, bro. They acting so much. I saw a play with James Harden where he was playing defense, and he just did like this. And, and I was like, bruh, Embiid had one the other night. Embiid got rejected by the rim, and he acted like he got hit. And Rudy, they put a foul on Rudy Gobert, and your boy Donovan Mitchell, he got 2 techs right away and got thrown out the game. This acting got to stop, man. They can look at the film and retroactively say, Harden, you didn't get hit. I'm going to fine you. You keep
But
on doing it.
the acting is coming because you're not calling fouls when they do count.
Yes.
If the referees would do their job and call the fouls when they do count, then you won't have these people trying to act the foul. We seen it happen in the leagues that we played in.
Yes.
The referee is thinking you're big enough to sustain a hit. That's the wrong way to play basketball. Yeah, I'm not supposed to be big enough to sustain a hit. They're supposed to play the ball the right way with moving their feet and staying vertical. So they're not supposed to reach into my plane and then cause me to have an issue because now I'm imposing my will on the defense, but then the defense gets bailed out because now they're calling a charge or they're not calling a foul when they're supposed to, and then it alters my shot. So then that makes me do the herky jerk and the flops when I'm going. So,
No, you're right. You shouldn't be penalized because you're big. A foul is a foul. Either foul is a foul or it's not a foul. Either when you hit me when I'm trying to score, it's supposed to be 2 shots and 1.
Yeah.
Well, that didn't push him off his trajectory enough for us to call him a foul. It doesn't matter. You still push me. But the Pels have to commit, is what y'all said. We are going to be this defensively, whether it's a zone, whether it's a trapping team, whether we're going to jump the high screen roll, whether we're going to switch the screening roll, but you got to commit. And Don, to your point, look, okay, Brandon Ingram is the most skilled scorer on your team. That don't mean you go to him every single time. If Zion got the mismatch, give him the ball. Give him the rock. Even if Lonzo got the mismatch, go to Lonzo. It's not just a default Brandon Ingram going to close us out tonight. No.
Right.
Normally, probably 7 times out of 10, he'll close you out. But when we have a mismatch, coach, don't be afraid to step on toes. Hey, we're going Zion for the next 5 plays.
Thank you.
And what guys
figure it out.
Right. And what guys need to understand, we've been playing this game our whole lives, and we kind of forget that these guys, we've been playing the game longer than those guys, but these guys are more gifted than we are, okay, and have athletic skills, etc. But they don't have the patience, okay? And so to tell a guy, hey, we're going to go to Zion 5 times in a row, that doesn't mean Zion not going to get you the ball. That just means we're going to run it through him to let the defense try to react to what he's doing. And it's a hard sell sometimes when you have star players that say, we're going to go with a certain guy the next 5 possessions. Don?
And I have one more thing to your list, Dave. Turnovers.
No, you got to limit the turnovers.
You cannot be a great defensive team and give plus 15 turnovers on the other side of the ball.
No.
That's a recipe for disaster. That will cause you to lose games later.
Today's game, the analytics and metrics has changed the game because if on paper I let Zion Williamson have the ball for 5 or 6 streaks and I don't touch the ball and my stat line doesn't change, it doesn't matter what intangibles I have on being at court. At the end of the day, management is going to look at me as like I'm a failure because they look at analytics. Oh, he only got 3 rebounds, no points and stuff like that. But what about the defensive presence? What about when people came to my side of the floor, nobody shot on me? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's almost like these
or the
days,
help defense you played that didn't
exactly.
show up the stat defense that made a guy give the ball up.
Exactly. All those little things, metrics is not unless you start measuring it, then it's not in there. So your value is what you're going to get with your look at Lonzo Ball, perfect example. Zion Williamson is starting now to be the point forward. Well, that was supposed to be Lonzo's thing. So if Lonzo hadn't worked on his 3-pointer, which he seemed like he's getting better at it, he would be in trouble because they'd probably put him on the bench because he's a facilitator. Well, now Zion's your facilitator. What does he do? Well, he's a great defensive guard to me, but they don't think they brought him over there for that. You know what I'm saying? So you see how somebody could be lost in that situation. So when contracts come up next year, they'll think that Lonzo Ball is expendable. I think Lonzo Ball has some good years on him. He's just got to figure out what they're going to be, the identity is going to be, and what other roles that he can take over for this team to work.
I agree with that wholeheartedly. And that's the difference between winning organizations and losing organizations. Right. Some organizations see the value in all those other things. And other people like the Daryl Morey's of the world who's just strictly on an analytic tip, which is basically just a way to get their relatives paid, as another general manager, as a high-priced person, where people with basketball minds know, okay, this guy may not show up in the stat sheet, but this is a glue guy. He barks out orders on the defense and helps people out. He helps people in the locker room. He plays weak side recovery. He'll get weak side rebounds. He'll do he switches, he'll fight over the pick. So those are things, like you say, analytics won't show. And so
Yeah.
far as Lonzo Ball is concerned, to me, he needs a coach that believes in him. I mean, his dad came in and sold him like he was the second coming of Michael Jordan. And all of us who knew basketball knew, like, no, this guy is a very good player, but he's not a take over the game type of player. He's a Jason Kidd type of player. Okay. So if there's a coach that embraces him and supports him and what he does, he could be either a journeyman or he could be a Hall of Famer. Like his career could go either way, depending on what franchise he plays and who supports him.
Yeah.
So
yeah, you got to ask the question: could AC Green get a gig now, or Dennis Rodman get a gig now?
Wow, that's a good question. Wow. Let me bring our guests in because they've been waiting patiently for the last 15 minutes in the room.
Oh, okay. I want to hear about this question that you're going to ask him at the end. That's what
you're waiting for the question at the end.
Everybody,
it is my pleasure to introduce everyone to Shoot the J, Farren Clark. He is a professor of speech over at Nicholls State University, former collegiate athlete, cross country, also at my alma mater, NSU. Also the founder of Crown, which is an organization at Nicholls to help African-American men, young men, continue and graduate from the university and help them navigate any obstacles that they may have in their college life. It is my pleasure to announce Farren Clark. Also, I want to throw this as well. So I had the pleasure of attending his wedding several years back. I'm so glad I got married before him, because if my wife would have seen the wedding that this dude and his wife had, then they would have wanted everything. So I'm glad I got mine under the table and all done, because this was a fantastic affair that him and Monique had, and I was blessed to be in attendance.
Oh, man, thank you very much, Dave. And it's an honor to be a part of Shoot the J. Dave was a mentor to me. He didn't really realize that he was. I mean, being at a PWI like Nicholls in my first year, I'm fresh out of home school, all right? So I rep that home school. I wake up at school. What? I go. My dad taught at John Ehret High School and West Jefferson High School. So I would run summer track. So track got me into college there. So, but Dave being a senior, working with people like Dr. Lloyd Chasson, fresh out of Gretna, different, right? And so dealing with the Gretna-esque, type of ways. I was a freshman. I didn't know where I wanted to go, but I did know that I know how to write. So being a freshman in Mass Comm and seeing Dave as a senior there, he would always make time. Dave, you would always make time to talk to a young brother like me, and it was real cool to just connect with you over time, and like you gave me insight into writing. Just not even directly, but just indirectly by being yourself, and seeing you at the newspaper, the news outlet when I was at the Daily Comment and you were working there as well. It's pretty cool to see, you just being an example of, a Black man who went to Nicholls, getting his words out there and connecting with the community. So, man, it was cool to see you at the wedding too. I mean, I'm glad I survived the grueling task of wedding planning and just being able to say, you know what, I got paid. Hey, boo, here you go.
Here's the check.
Here's a check.
I don't do that now.
Shout out to Monique Robinson, also, we all grew up with also. So when we saw y'all got together, I was really excited, who also ran track also. So y'all got double the athlete, that y'all are bringing to the table. And I appreciate the words, Farren. I mean, like when I look back on that time at Nicholls, we in Thibodaux, Louisiana, and you get to senior level classes. I'm the only Black person male in the class. Drew Bush was there with me, the only Black male. And then coming up, I think Farren was a freshman probably when I was a senior, freshman or a sophomore or something when I was a senior. And then Farren's the new one coming up. It's not like there was a whole bunch of us there. And then I just applaud you taking it to the next level. We might have shared some words one-on-one, but for you to have this organization crown to help everybody, not just Mass Comm, just everybody across Nichols, because for people who don't understand what it's like to be the first person to attend college in your family, the first person to attend a graduate program, the first person to go away for school, first time ever filling out financial aid with that process, first time to find out what an advisor is. That's a real daunting task, and just having somebody who's been through it before can make the difference between staying in school or leaving school and just altering the path of your future. So, thanks for founding that and moving it forward to like the next level,
Oh man, definitely. And this conversation right now, I listen more than I ever have now, because I can know what I know, but what about what I don't know? I don't even know the questions to ask. I think that's really what you touched upon when you're talking about being the first to make it to this level and that level. You go to college to learn, but you really go to college to learn how to learn. And how you learn is really you adapting to who is filling out the syllabus, and who's the person at this position and that position. So we still have a few more meetings left. And with COVID and everything, the students really don't have too much to do right now, except these meetings outside of their classes, which are largely high flex, face-to-face, and via Zoom. So, the fact that you hit me up about Shoot the J today, I was already about to hit you up about, hey, one of these meetings, man, it'd be great to hear from you in whatever topic you want to discuss, because I can't imagine being a student right now in the second semester of my first year in college, deadly pandemic going on, and you got people walking around like there was not a deadly pandemic going on.
Right.
How do I, who do I look to, and how do I carry myself? So I think there's a lot to be shared, just with brothers coming together, intergenerational communication, like I would like to say. We just raised $3,000 in one day for Give In Day. We just really fired up about that. And one of the main things I'm looking at for year 4, as we wrap up year 3, is I want to raise $70,000 for all members of Crown, mentees and mentors alike, to have book scholarships.
Yeah, that guy's got you
Money
right
man
there.
right there.
Right there. That's your main donor. Don Jackson right now is committing to $69,900.
And I got the $1 for you, bro. Come on, Don, let's do it.
Look, man, I love y'all already, man. So,
man,
you guys can put you on the spot in 2 seconds, but I wouldn't dare not say I wouldn't give and help out. So I definitely would. I think it's a great cause, and I would love to help.
Yeah,
I appreciate it.
Imagine if you were under me and Don's tutelage there, Farren, where you would be, man. You might be president of the United States.
far higher.
But Dave was your mentor, so you did a great job with that, man. You did a great job.
Hey, thank you. Hey, I don't disagree with that. If you're both of y'all, I don't disagree with that. What are you drinking, Farren? As we normally start off the show, what are you drinking today?
Oh man, a little vitamin water. I don't know if 50 Cent know about this yet, but I'm gonna put vitamin water on the map.
Farren, thanks for calling in. We want to start off with, we know you and your brother are like avid Saints fans as much as we are boxing fans. Like every picture I see y'all on Facebook, y'all got throwing up the everything, the fleur-de-lis and everything. Talk to us about Drew Brees, where he is right now. What is he doing? Is he going to retire? Is he going to play another year? He's posting training videos where he's working out. What is he doing? What's the state of the Saints, and where does that leave us with Drew Brees' decision?
Oh man, well, I appreciate that vouch for my background knowledge about the Saints and all of that. today I learned about where the fleur de lis really came from was a really anyway. So, but in my humble opinion, it to me it seems that it's sacrilegious for you to say anything wrong about or anything that goes against Drew Brees being the best quarterback ever and whose gameplay will never degrade, whose arm strength is not a thing to be mentioned. There seems to be a group of individuals who are just so focused on, hey, remember what he's done for this city. And I think if we can get back past that, and I know that Jay, I know that we are. I trust that we're past that. I really believe that he's going to be on the team, but I think some strong decisions will have to be made by those who are in a position to make it, so that we can turn the page, maybe start a new chapter, because when we have the weapons that we do have, and right now we're trying to meet the salary cap, and just letting go of somebody like Thomas Morstead for 12 years, who's consistently been a part of our, the expected success. I think it's time for a change. I see Drew being so successful doing the play-by-play, whether a color analyst or just, I don't know, bumping out Tony Romo for that position. I see that because this man's ability to understand the game and adapt to the game within seconds is just brilliant. Mm-hmm. But in my humble opinion, I think it's time for a change. I think Drew Brees' time on the field is done.
Don?
I mean, I can't agree with Farren more, and it's like it's the golden calf. Mm-hmm. I mean, this is the person that brought us a Super Bowl, but like Bain said, you've given yourself false idols. So as everybody else is, retooling and trying to change their team dynamic, we're still holding on to the Brees of yesteryear. Is he a great quarterback? Yes. Has he done great things for our city? Yes. But the other thing is, it reminds me kind of a mentor teacher who gets a little older and not in touch with the youth as he once was. And you have to kind of counsel that person toward retirement, because they're not, they have some good days, but when the going gets tough and you have to put that person in the trenches, they can't quite meet the expectations. So we do a lot of things to shield that person from direct line of fire. So in this case, your quarterback position, you can't shield them when you're in the playoffs, and you can't shield them in the Super Bowl. So one misstep will cost us greatly. Jared Cook dropping that pass cost us far more than it would with a younger Brees, because we could have scored a lot quicker and we could have done a lot more things. But with him in a possession style offense with the game on the line, dropping that pass, we couldn't recover with the Brees we had. Now, the Brees of yesteryear, we possibly could have, mm-hmm. and won that game and went on to the Super Bowl. So those are the things the Saints organization really has to consider.
Yeah, I didn't know that Drew Brees got another job this offseason. Didn't know he was working with the NOPD, because he's handcuffing us. He's handcuffing us. Okay? You're going to put us in a position where we can't get anybody because you keep working out. Stop working out. Stop giving people hope. You could be the governor, man. But if you mess up this season, you ain't going to be able to run anything, bro. Just go out on your blaze of glory. You could be anything you want to be right now, but you're working out right now, bro. Next, we're going to see you doing Pilates and stuff like that. You're going to be doing all this stuff. You'll be doing Taibo and stuff. You know what I'm saying?
It's like Ali. It's like Ali. You wanted him to retire a long time.
Right.
Muhammad Ali. Come on, man.
Stop. Please stop handcuffing us. Look, we already paid so much money for this team. If he stays one more year, the team gonna blow up anyway. Then you're gonna be at square one. Sean Payton might leave because we got to start from scratch. You never know. But why you got this money that's paid for these people right now? Go ahead and try to win it, but you can't win it with Brees because he's handcuffing us. We're about to find out there's going to be a mass explosion of free agents that's going to be on the market soon for everybody to get under the luxury tax of the football season because they can't pay these people this money. The salary cap has gone down this year, so that got to make cuts. If Drew Brees doesn't make a decision, it's going to handcuff us from getting some people that we could get that's going to make this season legitimate. But if he should have announced his retirement right after the Super Bowl. Then he would have been on a blaze of glory. But now he's working out because that's my problem with Drew Brees. He tried to come back so fast after Teddy Bridgewater was holding the team. He just wants the glory so much. Dude, you are on the team. You're going to get a ring regardless if you're taking plays underneath center or not. He came back too early last year when he got hurt. His wife said he had a torn labrum. He also had a plantar fasciitis. Man, sit down and do something better for the team, especially if the team is on a roll. Let him have it.
Right. I'm gonna talk about Don's point and Farren's point. I'm gonna start off with Farren's point. It is almost sacrilegious. If you type anything on your computer on Facebook saying Brees is the problem, I don't know if Brees got a fan club like the Bayhive, the Breehive. I don't know what he has, but they'll come for you. All over Canada, all over North, they're coming for you. Brees got us a ring. Brother, that was 2007. You know how long 2007? How long was it?
There's 9-10 season.
2009 season. You know how much has transpired from 2009 to, and it's not taking anything away from his greatness. Don't let anybody say that, oh, we're taking anything away. But I think it's like Saints fans have come from an abused place. I got a different perspective on this, where we've lost for so long with the paper bags on it. And as much as people want to tell you and wear these throwback to Archie Manning jerseys with the throwback, they hated Archie Manning. They threw garbage on Archie Manning and his wife when she was walking through the tunnel. Okay. So all this nostalgia about Archie Manning, we've been abused for so long. When somebody does come by and give you an EBT card, you know what I mean? Give you that food stamp card, for the rest of your life, they can do nothing wrong for you. No matter if they're abusing you now. Go ahead, Tyrone. I'm gonna let you cut it. Go ahead.
I just want to cut in because what you said is not just indicative of the Saints. Because if you remember, the Miami Dolphins had Dan Marino, and then Jerry Jones runs out Jimmy Johnson, Hall of Fame coach, won three titles with Dallas Cowboys. He goes over to Miami Dolphins and he says to Dan Marino, "Listen, you're getting older. We're going to establish the run." Now, remember what Jimmy Johnson did with Dallas. He had the biggest, most successful offensive line for Troy Aikman and Emmitt Smith and then to work out of. Dan Marino's like, "No, this is my team." Dan Marino got bigger than the coach at that moment. Yep. And at the end of those 2 seasons, Dan Marino couldn't barely throw the ball 20 yards. Now, if you listen to Jimmy Johnson and made this a more game managing system for him and maybe occasionally have to throw the deep ball. But no, Dan Marino was bigger than Jimmy Johnson at that time. And so you saw that he wasted 3 years with Jimmy Johnson, a Hall of Fame coach that couldn't change the culture. And so that's the thing we're dealing with right here. Drew Brees and the Saints, we got a little taste of the win, but we're not changing our culture to match what's right for the team. And that happened with Dan Marino. And it happens with a lot of quarterbacks as they get old.
Look, I wholeheartedly agree, but I'm gonna look at the camera, directly at the camera on this one, okay? Nobody's saying that Drew Brees isn't great. Nobody's saying that he's not a top 5 quarterback all time. No, we're not saying that. We're just saying that Father Time is undefeated. He cannot be as great as he was. And this is the point that I want to make with Don's point. Don, sometimes greatness can hamper you. Sometimes him being as great as he was can hamper you. If you know who you are through your whole career, I'm Trent Dilfer, and I'm a game manager, or I'm this quarterback or that quarterback, and I'm not here, I'm Alex Smith. I'm not here to make mistakes. It could help you when you embrace your identity. But when you're 42 and you're thinking you're 22 and you're trying to squeeze the ball in tight spots that have no business going in because you think you could will it into a spot, that sometimes greatness can happen. You cannot put down, to Tyrone's point, you can't put down the limelight. You can't put down the records and the glory. You can't let Bridgewater have it because Bridgewater won 5 straight games and everybody's wondering about you. They can't worry about Taysom Hill won you 4 games while you were injured. You can't have people wearing Hill jerseys all of a sudden. This record, that record, I got to keep on pace with Tom Brady because 2 more touchdowns, he would have more than me. When you got to take yourself out of the equation when you're talking about a team, and I know that's tough for people to accept because Brees is such a selfless guy, okay, on the field. Because you know when you have anybody Saints receivers on your fantasy football team, they're never going to blow it up because he's going to spread the ball around to everybody. It's not just going to be Randy Moss. It's not just going to be Calvin Johnson. It's not going to be your boy in Atlanta, the wide receiver. It's Julio Jones.
Julio Jones.
Now, but to the point, he's almost selfishly unselfish to the point where he has to go out there to be the unselfish one. Being great sometimes can be a hindrance when you don't accept that my game has to change. I can't fit in these window. I can't will us back into the victory. And to Tyrone's part, I got to lean on the running game more. Why do you think we won so many games with Taysom Hill? Because he ran the rock. He didn't try to throw 30 or 40 passes a game. So, sir, let me look again. Let me look at it. We love you. We appreciate everything you have done for this city. To the schools, to the little children's everywhere. We appreciate everything that you've done, okay? Please hang it up, sir, and let us move on. As Tyrone said, you could be the governor, man. You could be the governor, man, is what you can be, okay? Everybody still loves you. It's not indictment on you. We still love you. You took us from nothing to something. You made us Super Bowl champions, perennial playoff contenders. Please, sir, let it go. Spend some time with the children that you have, okay? Bring some new people in there. If it's Crab Legs going to start for us, let it be Crab Legs start for us. If it's Russell Wilson, let Sierra do the halftime show for us. Bring somebody in for us. Please, sir, I implore you. I've never begged anybody for anything in my life. But today on Shoot the J, please, sir, let it go. Good.
Well, Farren, we know you've been patiently waiting to get in there. I don't know if you had anything to add.
Oh, I'm just praying. I'm just by prayer and supplication, man. Lord.
Bless you, boys. Bless you, boys, and see through out of here.
Get that last side across the ground. Yeah.
I think we need to bring that dude back. You know, when the WWL had those great commercials, right? So we need to bring that dude back to have a reprise of his song. That's just a musical and vocal prayer for Brees to hang it up. And Drew Brees is the announcer. I don't know. Maybe we could do that.
Yeah, exactly. It's time, bro. It is time. So,
and you look at how football is heading. I mean, you know, how many close losses will we continue to tolerate? I mean, if you look at the stats, 2017, Minneapolis did the miracle on us. Now, truth be told, we should have been neck and neck with them to begin with, right? In 2017, we should have scored 1 million on those people. But somehow, one play could kill us at the last second because we don't make a tackle. All right, that's the first one. 2018, the non-pass interference call. Truth be told, there was a lot of things going on in that game. We could have played a lot better. Drew could have played a lot better in that game as well. There was an interception in that game at the end as he was trying to force a comeback. 2019, we lose to the Vikings in overtime at home, where they switched up the game plan on us. And the outside tackles were moved to the inside, and they forced so much pressure up the middle, Drew Brees couldn't figure it out. They put in Taysom Hill, and to his credit, he was figuring it out. He was running the ball, to David's point, and was getting us yardage, threw a long pass, exploited their defensive safeties, and scored a touchdown. Brees goes in the game, throws intercept, and then we had 2020. So in our loss to the Bucks, after we convincingly beat them scathingly the second time, then we come back, they make the adjustments. You got to remember, team is going to make adjustments, but we still have some issues, right? We still have some issues. So, you know, Brees, you've done a lot for us. Again, You've done a lot for us. We got to develop those quarterbacks that we have. If we're going to do a 2 quarterback system with Winston and Hill, let's announce your retirement so Sean Payton to get to work with those guys and get them ready for this upcoming season, because it's going to be brutal. It's going to be brutal. The South, NFC South has changed, and we no longer just the favorites to come out of the NFC South. So we may be able to get a wild card spot. We may, depending on the decisions we make today.
Truth be told, y'all, we left 3 championships on the table with the Saints. We left 3 on the table.
All 4.
The emergent 3 or 3 or more. The emergent
The San Fran game, San Francisco, 2013.
San Francisco
Rams. Come on, that's one of them.
That was the Saints offense at its best the year after we won the Super Bowl. With the emergence of Jimmy Graham. Remember, we didn't win a Super Bowl with Jimmy Graham. Jeremy Shockey was the tight end we won a championship with. When Jimmy Graham almost revolutionized that position as an extra wide receiver, okay, as an end zone target almost like Randy Moss. Antonio Gates and Gonzalez were sure-handed guys who could run routes and catch. This guy was a deep threat as a tight end. It was a nightmare matchup. We still had Pierre Thomas, still had Colston, still had Drew Brees. That was a team that we lose again to the 49ers at the end. We lost to Don's point. We lost to Seattle with Marshawn Lynch ran us down and caused an earthquake. The people coming out the AFC, we had beaten them a couple times already during and handily. We were scoring like 50 points a game. The last 2 years when the Rams beat us with the questionable no call, that Super Bowl game was 10-3. You mean to tell me the Saints couldn't put up more than 10 points? We couldn't have beat the Patriots when they had Brady and Edelman and Gronk, because that's all they had. They didn't have a running game. We would have put 3 or 4 because we won one in dramatic fashion with the Porter interception, and Drew Brees had the iconic video of him raising his son up like the Lion King with the confetti coming down and stuff like that. We done forgot about the 3 we left on the table because of the one that we won.
I hope that we haven't become, or we're not becoming, the new Dallas Cowboys of the South.
Oh my gosh, please don't let us be that.
I mean, like seriously, really don't need to be associated with that team over there that had won all the way back X number of years ago. That's Dallas already. We don't need that. Let's leave that to Jerry Jones and them on their own power grid. Sorry.
Oh, dang. Not the Texas Power Grid. Dang. Too soon. Too soon.
I'll mute myself on that one.
That's all right. Well, Farren, now that you're on the show, we of course we enjoyed having you on. I'm going to put some information for Crown up as well for all those kids that are going to Nichols to join Crown and be a part of that wonderful organization. Anytime you need me, just call me and I'll get on a Zoom call. And you know what I like to talk about most is about life, and I have a wealth of experience that I can share with the kids in that regard. Anytime you need me, just send me a text, and I'm there. But now to put you in the hot seat.
Yeah.
The question that we always ask when we have athletes on the show. Okay. We have 4 people on Shoot the J. There's a 2-on-2 tournament. And you have to pick a player from this Zoom call to play it against the other 2 players on the Zoom call. Which one of the brothers are you picking to be on your team? Don, me, or Tyrone? Who's your teammate?
All right. Well, I do have some experience playing with y'all. I gotta go with Dave. I think
I got one.
Points in the paint will probably be my go-to, but it's been limited experience. And with the experience that I think we were at Ben Franklin High School, maybe Ben Franklin, that one time, I just want to say to all y'all, look, my bad. I was supposed to, what I saw in my mind, was shot in my mind. So my bad, and I appreciate it. But yeah, there you go.
You picking Dave, but you're not saying y'all gonna win.
Ah,
I'm saying right here, right now, on this day, I'm saying on this March 6th, we're gonna win.
thank you. Tell him, Farren. That's what I like to hear, baby.
Is it 2-on-2? Like, when is this? When is this?
Oh, it's whenever. Once we get vaccinated, it's whenever.
You got you exactly right. I got you. Post-vaccination victory. That's what.
There you go, Farren. I like the confidence.
Farren's assurance. You know, I played with him when we had a little 4-on-4 game. You know, we were trying to mesh, but we didn't, get a chance to. And with the team we had against certain other teams, and I'm gonna leave that alone. But I applaud his confidence. I like that.
I like it too, Farren. When we come out for this game, make sure you let him know Crown is not Crown Royal, the drink, when it comes out, okay? It's a whole different thing, bro. Just let him know that.
Yeah. Well, Farren and I are going to make this matchup happen. And, we're going to fly him in, you know what I mean? And where you fly now? You in New Orleans or you in Houma?
I'm in Houma. Mo and I are home.
Yeah. We're going to fly you in, brother.
What about me being flown in? I'm further out than Farren is.
Huh? You enjoy coming down. We ain't got to fly you in. This man is a newlywed. He got to get a note to get out of the house. He got, you know what I mean?
He ain't no newlywed. How many years you been married?
3 years this Wednesday.
Oh man, he's all right. She ready to get him out the house, man.
He's within the first 5. Yeah, he's within the first 5.
He's the first 5?
Yeah, he's within the first 5. He's got the trust now. He's all right.
Mine was like the first 48. That's what mine was.
You get out the house the first 48 hours.
Right? First 48. My wife's like, you getting on my nerves. You got to go.
Well, guys, we had a good show. Love the insight. Farren, we're going to put Crown's link up. And all the young men at Nichols, if y'all are watching this, this is the organization to be a part of. They can help you with your trials or tribulations, and they do understand everything basically that you're going through. Shout out to Farren for joining us, especially at last minute. Love your insight on the Saints. We definitely want to have you back. Shout out to Don and T. Y'all make the show. And we'll see y'all next time on Shoot the J.
Thank you.
Great, Farren.